Arm in Arm is organizing our communities to ignite a transformational era that ends the climate crisis by centering racial and economic justice.
Kay reached out to me and she was like, hey, will you join US Can? And I was like, yeah, totally. And we started doing, building it out, trying to figure out what it would look like, what it could look like. It all boiled down to all of us who are involved that our government needs to the demands of the climate crisis.
Arm in Arm is basically a toolkit to help you achieve the change that you see fit to change.
It is structured to include local, essentially independent pods that are part of a coherent national strategy.
For me, Arm in Arm has strengthened my advocacy and provided me tools to advocate with. It connects me back to my roots, which is the social justice movement, because that's where it takes its genesis from, or its foundation is learned from the social justice movement of the civil rights movement. So it gives me those roots as a faith leader, as a preacher. But also, it also helps to elevate my ministry by giving me a practical tool that I know it's collective action. It's not just me, and I'm not by myself.
It is very disciplined. The training is extremely well thought through. People understand what they're getting into when they get into it. The time was taken ahead of launching the movement to really think about how it would build and unfold. And that was a really impressive thing to me.
We worked diligently trying to get a structure and all of the things that we need to get in place so that we could create this system, this organization that is decentralized, that holds the morals of centering racial and economic justice at the core being of the environmental movement, and trying to figure out what that means in actual real-world applications.
Every generation alive today has witnessed the harrowing effects of climate change. Our window of opportunity to end the crisis is closing. We lead with our values, as this drives our priorities and grounds us. We believe everyday people can identify solutions for themselves and their communities.
I decided to join Arm in Arm because I am worried about the future of the planet for my 3-year-old daughter. And in climate justice, I didn't see reflections of myself in the spaces that I wanted to join. And I saw that in Arm in Arm, and the community of support from the intersectionality of the injustices that impact me as a Black woman, as a single mom, as a climate justice activist, as a Black liberation activist. I found that community in Arm in Arm, and I was able to show up authentically myself while fighting for climate justice, while standing in solidarity for the intersectionalities of racial and economic justice that disproportionately impact Black and brown folks.
I got interested and joined Arm in Arm because I am tired of seeing problems and issues and things that we know need to be changed in society, and only being given the option to sign a petition or contact my council members or elected officials about it. We can focus on real action that's going to get real attention, as well as also providing a good to the community, which is, that's a win-win.
We remain nonviolent in our actions. We are actively anti-racist. We share leadership. We are friends and family, co-workers and neighbors. We are indigenous. We are migrants. We are the flooded. We are the drought-stricken. We are the broken-hearted sifting through the ashes.
It sounded sort of intriguing, in particular because it put environmental justice and racial justice in the center of the project. And very few national movements that are not actually movements of Black and brown people focused on Black and brown issues with a sideline in environmental issues make it as central to their work. So I was excited by that. And then I watched the videos and read the materials that we were sent. And I was like, this is right. Just understanding how mass nonviolent struggle works is really rare. And people don't talk about it much. And I love that this new organization I hadn't heard of was based on those principles.
Everybody deserves clean air, clean water, and a healthy food supply. Profit-obsessed corporations and the politicians who do their bidding have used, abused, and discarded our communities.
Every decision that I make as a person impacts the next generation, and that we all think about that, and that we're connected, and that we want to leave the world a better place for those that come after us. It's hard enough just to live as a person of color in this world, let alone focus on the future. That is why I joined Arm in Arm, and that is what community looks like to me.
We're talking about really putting our actions in front so that we're focusing on these issues that are intersectional underneath the umbrella of the environmental movement. Like, yes, we are environmentalists, and part of being an environmentalist means that we care for one another and that we hold each other up when necessary.
I wasn't new to the climate world and when I joined Arm in Arm, but I have still found so many resources to help me kind of like put my ideas on the table. But I feel like a lot of the issue is just not knowing what to do about the problems. Like we've read about the problems, we've studied the problems, we hear about the problems, we live the problems. We talk to each other about the problems and help each other figure out answers. So what is the problem in your community? What do they need, and how do we solve that together? How can we help each other plan an action? And you're not going to be alone for any of that.
When we think about Arm in Arm, we're talking about going into those communities and working with those people to develop community-based solutions to the issues that are happening, so that the people who are on the front line and are bearing the brunt of environmental racism have a say-so in environmental policy and moving forward together as a cohesive movement.
From the crafters, come the masses, we're the people on the move. Yeah, 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 yeah. We are tired, but inspired, fired up and on the move. Ooh, yeah, yeah. We are tired, but inspired,